Hey friends, this is Tig again with another reaction video. And today we're going to be doing a reaction on a single mother with 2 kids left her 2 children home with her babysitter while she hooked up with a man at a bar, okay? Now this girl decided to go on, I believe, TikTok to talk about this particular situation. This is amazing. The depths of modern women and where they will go to get what they want. When they can't leave the kids with the father or the grandmother or whatever the situation is, now they starting to try to pawn their kids off on the babysitter. Now this is crazy, man, but they're trying to find ways around being a single mother except for getting married. That's the one thing they don't seem to want to do. It's crazy stuff, man. It's crazy stuff, okay? But I'm real curious to hear this. But I doubt if it's going to be long, so this is going to be a pretty short video. But I thought it was interesting enough to go ahead and do this, okay? All right, let's go ahead and get started. But before we do, please like, subscribe, and share this video. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you know whenever we come out with new videos, okay? All right, let's get started.
One time I was babysitting and the mom never came home and gave me legal guardianship of her kids. Backstory, I've been babysitting forever and a lot of the families I actually found off of a Facebook group in my hometown, and they've all been really great families until now. I knew going into it she was a young single mom with 2 kids and she just wanted to have a night out with her girlfriend that was in town. I know this wasn't like the smartest idea of mine. I will not do it again. That being said, I was about to go on 3 different trips and I just needed the spare change because I wasn't working at the time. I go over to her house. I immediately notice that it's not just messy, but it's dirty. Personally, I'm like a really clean freak, so I don't judge people based on their living spaces. That being said, it seemed like it may be a hazard to the kids. She does not tell me anything about their bedtime routine. Mind you, they're 2 and 4 years old, like they're really little. She's more worried about showing me her outfit, asking if it's okay. And she tells me what bar she's going to, and it was like a really sketch bar, so that was kind of like one of the first red flags. As she's leaving, she's telling me like it's gonna be a late night. I was like, yeah, that's totally fine. She was saying maybe 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I was like, girl, do your thing. At this point, the apartment was so dirty and I just felt so bad about the situation that I wasn't going to charge her. I was just going to clean her apartment, let her have a night out, whatever. Call it a wash. Okay, I came with receipts. Around 11:30, I asked her if she had like a phone charger just because my phone was about to die and I didn't want to go out to my car and leave the kids because they were already in bed. But as you can see, she literally responded at 2:30 a.m. I waited until 3:45. Hi, do you have a rough ETA? I mean, you can read through all that. By the time I sent this text, it was literally 5 a.m. 5 a.m. and I got there at 7 p.m. Her son wakes up at 6. He's asking where mom is. He's so hungry and I'm trying to find him food, but everything in the kitchen is expired or moldy. I had talked to my friends at this point. I had talked to my family and everyone was like, you need to call the police, which I obviously didn't want to do. I didn't want to put her in a rough situation with CPS or anything. But as a female, I was more concerned about her safety going to this super sketchy bar that's known for different kinds of trafficking. I took the phone call out on the balcony because I didn't want the little boy to hear it. I go onto the balcony. I cannot even step on it because it's all covered in trash bags and like it reeks. Like this has been sitting there for months. There's also like trash bags like crept in like weird closets in the house. The kids did not sleep in beds. They slept on the floor. They didn't know where their toothbrushes were. Little girl wakes up. I have her on my hip. I'm like on the phone with the police. He shares with me that I'm actually in custody of the children. Like they're my responsibility because the mom left them with me. And so if I am to leave, CPS is going to come and pick up the kids. I obviously don't want to share like too much of a personal situation, but she shared with me that like the baby daddy was in and out of prison and the cops shared with me that he is like a danger to the family. And I'm sitting there home alone with the kids. So I requested that the cop is present until I leave for me and the children's safety. So here's the cop and the little boy was like sitting right there. He was so entertained by the cop and kept grabbing the cop's gun. Meanwhile, the little girl is like freaking out and I'm just holding her, like trying to calm her down. At 8 a.m., this bitch calls me and she's like, I'm so sorry. She had a sleepover. She had the audacity to go home from the bar with a man, leave her kids with a babysitter and not say anything. She told me that her phone had died. She didn't know in this phone call that the cops had already tried to contact her and her parents and her phone had been pinged. She comes back. I'm like awkwardly sitting in the kitchen as the cop is interrogating her, like asking her, not interrogating, but you know. He's taking pictures, sending it for CPS. Then the cop leaves me with her. He straight up leaves me with her. And I just apologize profusely. I'm so sorry. I did not want this to end this way. You have to understand I was scared for your safety. The best part of it all is a few days later, she texts me and asks to hang out and be friends and like go do things with the kids. Surprisingly, she did pay me. Yes, I did charge her. Okay, I know this is super zoomed in, but she literally put my name in as a Mary Kay referral. Like, I don't want to be part of your pyramid scheme. So yeah, that's a story. It's safe to say I never spoke to her again. But don't babysit for people on the internet.
Oh, man, this is insane. This is insane, okay? This is the modern woman right now. What's happening in the world today? These women are so desperate to get a man after they have left the other man. So they so desperate to get a man that they're pretty much just abandoning their kids, man, doing all kind of crazy stuff. Okay, I was watching this video about Bobby Althoff, and she got a divorce from her husband. Her husband divorced her because she did this video with Drake in the bed, and now she living her best life, going out with NFL players, getting drunk, getting carried to Ubers and all this kind of stuff because she's like spit drunk. Okay, and look, I don't know this woman. I don't know what she does in her personal life, man, but somehow I feel like she neglected a family so she can live her best life, okay? Which is insane, right? And now you got these single women now. They don't want to be married. They don't want to have any responsibility as being wives or mothers. They just want to go right back out in the street again and just have a good time. You see these with celebrities now. They're divorcing their men so they can go out and live their best life. They don't want to be mothers anymore. It's boring. They go on TikTok. They go on Instagram. They see all these women living their best life. So they want to do it too, to the point where they want to destroy their own families so they can do it. And then months, years, or whatever later, they regret it, and then they try, and this is the crazy part, they try to get back with the husband again after all these guys ran through them, rejected them, because these guys don't want them. Most of these guys, the NFL players or whatever, they don't want Bobby Adhoff. They don't. They just want to spend a little time with her, okay? So I don't want to make assumptions. I don't know what the situation is, but they want to spend a little time with her, okay? Sorry, that's my phone. But either case, right, they want to go back to their husbands, and a lot of the time the husband either found somebody else, but if they weak simps, they'll take them back. You know, it's crazy. These women, man, they do everything they can to become single mothers, like I say, because they don't want the responsibilities of being wives and freaking mothers. But then they go out of their way to have these people babies so they can get child support. But you see how she described this woman, how she was living, trash everywhere. It was so bad. It was out on a balcony. It was pathetic. And this woman felt sorry for her, which is, to me, is a mistake. And it was a good thing she did call the police, because that's pathetic. Them kids living like that, you know. And look, I get it, you know, but most likely, by the way this woman was living, by the fact that she decided to go home with a man or go home with whoever and not even call or anything like that. She could have drove by and said, look, or she could have brought that would have been bad if she would have brought the dude home or whatever. Okay. But either way, she somehow should have let the babysitter know what she was doing. But that, to me, that tells you she's a terrible mother, in my opinion. This is my opinion. She's a terrible freaking mother. You know, and most likely she destroyed the family. Most likely. If I was a betting man, she was the one that destroyed the family. And the father probably is nowhere in her life. She wanted to go back to the streets, and that's exactly what she did. And she pretty much probably couldn't find anybody else to babysit, or they got tired of doing it. You know, sometimes mothers be like, you know what, I'm not going to, every time I turn around, you're going to throw your kids on me. So I'm not going to do it. So she probably had an issue with that. So she said, you know what, I want to go out. I'm just going to leave it with the babysitter. I mean, like, the selfishness of it all. The selfishness is crazy. It's insane, okay? I mean, this girl, I mean, anything could have happened. She talked about the husband was like, you know, he was, in and out of jail? So it's like they messing with freaking criminals and stuff, having babies by criminals, and now they doing whatever they want. I mean, single men, be careful. I know you want a girlfriend. I know you want a wife. But be very careful, especially messing with liberal women, okay? Women that believe the hype, believe that they should be living their best lives and all this kind of stuff. The ones that love to mess with criminals and drug dealers and all these other people, right? Leave these women alone. I don't care how fine they are. Okay, now, I see that many men want to hit it and quit it. I hear that. But I'm telling you, man, you got to be careful when you deal with women like this. And now this girl that just trying to make a little extra money so she can go on a vacation, get into the situation where she had to call the police. And her life could have been in danger. Just imagine if this dude wasn't in jail at the time, right, on probation or whatever, right, and decided to swing back. This girl's life could have been in danger. He could have been, he could have been one of those guys, the R, if you know what I mean, right, one of those type dudes. So you don't know what the situation is. Look, man, being a babysitter is risky, especially when you're dealing with somebody else's kids. I know I used to do a job where there was children around and all types of stuff happen. They get mad, they'll blame you for stuff, they'll lie on you, all kind of stuff, man. I do not envy any girl that want to be a babysitter. But never do it, man. Never, ever, ever do it, okay? And especially a young woman like this. Look, and then the cop's gonna tell her that she's responsible for the kids because, this mother decided to be irresponsible. That's crazy. I'm happy that a cop did show up. This girl was able to leave. And then to top it off, the woman didn't really apologize. She just wanted to hang out with this girl again. Like, how desperate can you be? You left her hanging like this, put her in a unsafe situation. Didn't even bother to clean up for this woman to babysit. Come on, really? I mean, like. And she said, don't do an online babysitting job. Yes, because you don't know what you're dealing with online. And that's why I would suggest anybody that do babysitting, anything like that, go through a company first. So that way they can do background checks. They can tell you whether this was a good client or not. You got to vet these people. You just can't do this stuff. Somebody say, oh, come babysit my kids. You don't know what you're getting into. And this girl had to learn that lesson all for a little bit of money. She's cleaning up behind this woman because this woman is thinking about just hooking up with some dude. She already pretty much hooked up with a criminal. Now she's going to find herself a good man now. So he can be dealing with all this insanity. Crazy stuff, man. And unfortunately, men are setting that bars, not knowing what's going on. And I bet you $1 million this guy, whoever she hooked up with, it might be a woman, I don't know, but I'm just assuming it's a guy. Whoever she hooked up with don't know she got kids. Or she'll make some excuse, my mama watching it or some crap like that. Look, many guys tell you to avoid single mothers. Now, there's situations like my father married my mother who had kids, but my mother was married when she had kids, okay? So I still wouldn't suggest a man marry a woman with kids, but it does work at times. Sometimes it don't, because my father had to deal with the stepchildren. Some of them liked them, some of them didn't, okay? So he had to deal with all that. To me, if you want a family, just have your own kids, okay? So, like I say, this is crazy. This girl, I hope she never do it again. That sounds like she put herself in a very dangerous situation, dealing with crazy modern women, okay? Now, I'm glad she decided to post this because it'll want other girls who are thinking about going online to babysit. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. Just don't do it, okay? Definitely don't do it, right? She did the right thing, calling the police. Thank goodness that she was able to, it's better her getting online, talking about the situation than them talking about her on the 6 o'clock news, okay? All right, I really appreciate all of you coming by. Thanks again. This is T, and peace.